Welcome to the video. This video is on branding and branding strategies and brands in general. Okay, so what is a brand? A brand is a name, term, sign, symbol, design. It's a means of identifying goods and services that make it different from other goods and services from competitors. Represents a customer's perception and feelings about that particular product line. Okay. Um, Branding is a process of endowing products and services with the power of the brand. What does that mean? We just talked about brands, what a brand is, what it was branding. Well, think about it. If you have an existing brand, you have a new product. Once you apply that brand onto the product, it assumes a lot of that attributes, that interaction with the customer's brains, right? All right, so brand equity. This is a good segue into brand equity. What is brand equity? It's added value endowed on the products or service. So if I have a product that, let's say, one company buys a product or a product line or a service or something from another company, I could keep it the name that they had before, but maybe it didn't have good brand equity. Maybe it had negative brand equity. Maybe that something negative is associated with it. But my brand is very positive. So I take that product that didn't do well under that other brand and put it under my brand, and now poof, it's got brand equity. All right, now this doesn't have to be an existing product that had another brand. Excuse me. It could be a brand new product, but once I apply my brand to it, then I give it some equity, right? So it reflects on how the customers think, feel, and respect the product line within the product or the product line within the market. All right. Now it also can affect prices and market share, profitability. Simply by having this brand's name on there, I can sometimes charge more under this brand than I can this one or no brand. All right. So think about it. If you go to the grocery store, you've got something that's paper towels and it's the grocery store brand. And then you have Bounty. Bounty is going to be more expensive. They might even be the same because a lot of the grocery store products actually buy their products from the name brands and they just apply their own brand name to it. And one sells for higher than the other. And also market share. What do I mean by that? You have only two different product lines or two different brands in a market, right? One has got positive brand equity, and one of them's got negative brand equity. It means people think badly about this brand. Now, if there's two in a market, that means that equal market share would be 50-50, right? I have 50% of the market share, you have 50% of the market share. But if I have really good brand equity and poor brand equity, then I might be 70-30 or even more, or sometimes, closer to 50, but it's always going to be more. All right. So, and it's exactly what it's immediately what the customers think and feel about the products within that brand, right? So it's so quick. So if I have something on that brand, the equity is the fact that my market immediately thinks good things about it. Or if it's negative brand equity, they think bad things about it. Now, brand value. Now, brand value sounds very similar to brand equity, but it's different. Brand equity is how it looks, how in relationship to the customer's perception, right? Brand value is its actual value, right? So if I have a company that has 5 brands, right, and I want to downsize and sell off a brand because I need the capital to do something with one of my signature brands, I'll sell a brand, right? And the brand value is how much money I can get for that brand. So I sell the name, whatever, and all the products associated. What that company, that entity is worth is the brand value. All right. So brand positioning. I can position my brand many different ways. By product attributes, by benefits, by beliefs and values. Product attributes, there's something specific about how this brand worked or this product works, and I put that that becomes part of my brand positioning. I'm positioning my brand for that. it might be benefit, right? I want to always be the brand that's associated with. Well, you look at insurance, right? Some insurance companies want to position themselves as their attributes that they want to position themselves is cheap, right? Cheap. $100, $100 cheaper than everybody else. So that is my brand is associated, is positioned by that attribute, which is cheapness or inexpensiveness or whatever you want to call it. Other ones, like say State Farm, they position themselves, the benefit by going with them more expensive than the cheaper one is they're going to take care of you better when it's time to be taken care of. All right. And then another one might be beliefs and values where they don't really talk about either of those things, but the brand is associated with the humanitarian and the work that they're doing for society or other things like that. Okay. So that would be brand positioning. All right. So brand name selection. When you're choosing a brand name, make sure you choose wisely. All right. There's a few things you need to take into consideration. That the name might be a little bit suggestive of the product line. All right. So it might even have the name automobiles if you're trying to sell automobiles. It's Ford Automobile Company or whatever. I don't even know if that is in part of it, but motor company. Yeah. Okay. So you'll have something that is suggestive of the product line in the name. So that's a good thing to have. Easy to pronounce, recognize, and remember. A quick story. There's a video out there online somewhere about the actor Morgan Freeman talking about why the movie that he was in, Shawshank Redemption, was only a hit 5, 6, 7 years after it came out. It did terrible in the box office because primarily the way that movies are marketed is a lot of it's word of mouth, and people couldn't even remember the name of it. Right, and they call it the shame shank or whatever, right? So having a distinctive, easy to pronounce name is important. Now, distinctive, and that's another one. The next one is distinctive. It has to be different. They can't. They're usually disreputable brands will choose a name that's very close to one that has got a lot of brand equity. So we're trying to ride on the coattails of the brand equity of the big name that sounds just like mine. So if it's Bounty paper towels, I might call myself Downty paper towels just to try to do that. That's a bad thing to do, right? You want to be distinctive, all right? Extendable. You don't want it to be so specific and so associated with something that you can't use it with anything but that one product, okay? Translates well to a foreign language. Anything can be translated, right? But let's say we use something that has like an animal name that's like some nice and fuzzy or whatever. And it's just a fun little animal name. It has nothing to do with the product, but maybe a little bit of bringing people towards a vision of what's going on. I can't even think of what an example would be, but let's say something like that. But it translates into Arabic as "smelly ugly goat." All right, so you can't control all of that, but that is something you want to take into consideration. And then capable of registering and legal protection. Not every word that you call your company or your brand can be protected by trademark protectable, I guess is the way to word it. Because, and why wouldn't it be? Well, if it's just such a common name, the Trademark Commission might say, no, you can't trademark book. You can't trademark food or pizza. All right. You can't trademark that. All right. So that's why. That's what we're talking about there. Okay. So the last thing we're talking about is leveraging brands, some different ways to get your brand name out there. Co-branding, having another company's brand piggyback, maybe in the same package. They have both products or parts of both products. Like example might be Jack Daniel's Swirl ice cream or something like that by Breyers. It's Breyers ice cream. That's not the same company as Jack Daniel's, but they co-brand themselves. Then there might be same company co-branding. In the restaurant and the hotel field or hotels, you see this a lot where one hotel company bought another hotel. They could keep the one that they bought by itself, and that might be fine, but actually putting both might be even better. So if somebody buys something in, and Marriott buys Bob's In Company. Now, Bob's In Company might have some pretty good, Bob's In Company, that's weird, but Bob's In or something like that. That might have some pretty good local brand equity. Uh, but why not say Bob's In by Marriott? Because now I'm capitalizing on both. Um, and then ingredient branding, you might want to incorporate something that talks about certain ingredients because they signify high quality or something like that. All right, so that's it on branding. Uh, Not as quick as I would like to be, but it's a good little nugget of what we're talking about this week. So I will see you later.